entertain conjecture of a time when creeping murmur in the pouring dark fills the wide vessel of the universe. From camp to camp, through the foul womb of night, the hum of either army stilly sounds, that the fixed sentinels almost receive the secret whispers of each other's watch. Fire answers fire, and through their parley flames, each battle sees the other's umbered face. Steed threatens steed, and high and boastful neighs, piercing the night's dull ear. And from the tents the armorers accomplish the night, with busy hammers closing rivets up. Give dreadful note of preparation. The country cocks do crow, the clocks do toll, and the third hour of drowsy morning name. Proud of their numbers and secure in soul, the confident and overlusty French do the low-rated English player dice, and chide the crippled tardy-gated knight who like a foul and ugly witch doth limp so tediously away. The poor condemned English, like sacrifices by their watchful fires, sit patiently and unruly ruminate the morning's danger. And their gesture sad, investing lank, lean cheeks and war-worn coats, presented them unto the gazing moon so many horrid ghosts. Oh, now, who will behold the royal captain of this ruined band walking from watch to watch, from tent to tent? Let him cry, praise and glory on his head. For forth he goes and visits all his host, bids them good morrow with a modest smile, and calls them brothers, friends, and countrymen. Upon his royal face there is no note how dread an army hath enrounded him, nor doth he dedicate one jot of color unto the weary and all watched night, but freshly looks and overbears a taint with cheerful semblance and sweet majesty, that every rich, pining and pale before, beholding plucks comfort from his looks. A largess universal, like the sun, his liberal eye doth give to everyone, thawing cold fear, that mean and gentle all behold as may unworthiness define, a little touch of Harry in the night. And so our scene must to the battle fly, where, oh for pity, we shall much disgrace with 4 or 5 most vile and ragged foils, right ill-disposed in brawl, ridiculous the name of Agincourt, yet sit and see, minding true things by what their mockeries be. Gloucester, 'tis true that we are in great danger. The greater, therefore, should our courage be. Good morrow, brother Bedford. God Almighty! There is some soul of goodness in things evil. Would men observingly distill it out? For our bad neighbor makes us early stirrers, which is both healthful and good husbandry. Besides, they are our outward consciences, and preachers to us all, admonishing that we should dress us fairly for our end. Thus may we gather honey from the weed, and make a moral of the devil himself. Good morrow, old Sir Thomas Erpingham. A good soft pillow for that good white head were better than a churlish turf of frogs. Not so, my liege. This lodging likes me better, since I may say, now lie I like a king. 'Tis good for men to love their present pains upon example, So the spirit is eased, and when the mind is quickened out of doubt, the organs, though defunct and dead before, break up their drowsy grave and newly move with casted slow and fresh legerity. Lend me thy cloak, Sir Thomas. Brothers both, commend me to the princes in our camp. Do my good morrow to them, and anon desire them all to my pavilion. We shall, my liege. Shall I attend your grace? No, my good knight. Go with my brothers to my lords of England. I and my bosom must debate a while, and then I would no other company. The Lord in heaven bless thee, noble Harry. God of mercy, old heart, thou speakest cheerfully.
Chevrolet!
A friend.
Discuss unto me, art thou officer, or art thou base, common, and popular?
I am a gentleman of a company.
Trailest thou the puissant pike?
Even so. What are you?
As good a gentleman as the emperor.
Then you are a better than the king.
The king's a Barcock!
And a heart of gold. A lad of life.
An imp of fame. Of parents good. Of fist most valiant. I kiss his dirty shoe. And from heartstring, I love the lovely bully. What is thy name?
Harry Leroy.
Leroy? A Cornish name? Art thou of Cornish crew?
No, I am a Welshman.
Knowest thou Fluellen?
Yes.
Tell him I'll knock his leek about his pate upon St. Davy's Day.
Do not you wear your dagger in your cap that day, lest he knock that about yours.
Art thou his friend?
And his kinsman too.
Then fig off for thee then!
I thank you. God be with you.
My name is Pistol Called.
It sorts well with your fierceness.
Captain Llewellyn! Sir! In the name of Jesus Christ, speak pure. It is the greatest admiration in the universe world when the true and ancient prerogatives and laws of the wars is not kept. If you would take the pains but to examine the wars of Pompey the Great, you shall find. I warrant you that there is no tittle-tattle nor babble in Pompey's camp. I warrant you, you shall find the ceremonies of the wars, and the cares of it, and the horrors of it, and the sobriety of it, and the modesty of it, to be otherwise. Why? The enemy is loud. You hear him all night. The enemy is an ass, and a fool, and a prating coxcomb. Is it meet, think you, that we should also, look you, be an ass and a fool, and a prating coxcomb? In your own conscience now. I will speak lower. I pray you, and beseech you that you will.
Though it appears a little out of fashion, there is much care and valor in this Welshman. Brother John Bates, is not that the morning which breaks yonder? I think it be, but we have no great cause to desire the approach of day.
We see yonder the beginning of the day, but I think we shall never see the end of it. Who goes there?
A friend.
Under what captain serve you?
Under Sir Thomas Erpingham.
A good old commander, and a most kind gentleman. I pray you,
What thinks he of our estate? Even as men racked upon a sand that looks to be washed off the next tide.
He hath not told his thought to the king?
No, nor is it not meet he should. For though I speak it to you, I think the king is but a man, as I am. The violet smells to him as it doth to me. The element shows to him as it doth to me. All his senses have but human conditions, his ceremonies laid by. In his nakedness he appears but a man, and though his affections are higher mounted than ours, yet when they stoop with the like wing. Therefore, when he sees reason of fears as we do, his fears, out of doubt, be of the same relish as ours are. Yet, in reason, no man should possess him with any appearance of fear, lest he, by showing it, should dishearten his army.
He may show what outward courage he will, but I believe as cold as night as 'tis, he could wish himself in dames up to the neck, and so I would he were, and I by him at all adventures, so we were quit here.
By my troth, I will speak my conscience of the king. I think he would not wish himself anywhere but where he is.
I would he were here alone. So should he be sure to be ransomed, and many poor men's lives saved.
I dare say you love him not so ill to wish him here alone. Howsoever you speak this to feel other men's minds, methinks I could not die anywhere so contented as in the king's company, his cause being just, and his quarrel honorable. That's more than we know.
Aye, or more than we should seek after, for we know enough, if we know we are the king's subjects. If his cause be wrong, our obedience to the king wipes the crime of it out of us. But if the cause be not good, the king himself hath a very reckoning to make, when all those legs and arms and heads chopped off in a battle shall join together at the latter day and cry all, we died at such a place. Some swearing, some crying for a surgeon, some upon their wives left poor behind them, some upon the debts they owe, some upon their children rawly left. I am afeard there are few die well that die in a battle, for how can they charitably dispose of anything when blood is their argument? Now, if these men do not die well, it will be a black matter for the king that led them to it, who to disobey were against all proportion of subjection.
So, if a son that is by his father sent about merchandise do sinfully miscarry upon the sea, the imputation of his wickedness by your rule should be imposed upon his father that sent him? Or if a servant, under his master's command, transporting a sum of money, be assailed by robbers and die in many irreconciled iniquities, you may call the business of the master the author of the servant's damnation? But this is not so. The king is not bound to answer the particular endings of his soldiers, the father of his son, nor the master of his servant. For they propose not their death when they propose their services. Besides, there is no king, be his cause never so spotless, if it come to the arbitrament of swords, can try it out with all unspotted soldiers. Some peradventure have on them the guilt of premeditated and contrived murder, some of beguiling virgins with the broken seals of perjury, some making the wars their bulwark, that have before gored the gentle bosom of peace with pillage and robbery. Now, if these men have defeated the law and outrun native punishment, though they can outstrip men, they have no wings to fly from God. War is his beetle, war is his vengeance, so that here men are punished for before breach of the king's laws, and now the king's quarrel. Where they feared the death, they have borne life away, and where they would be safe, they perish. Then if they die unprovided, no more is the king guilty of their damnation than he was before guilty. of those impieties for the which they are now visited. Every subject's duty is the king's, but every subject's soul is his own. Therefore, should every soldier in the wars do as every sick man in his bed, wash every mote out of his conscience, and dying so, death is to him advantage. Or, not dying, the time was blessedly lost wherein such preparation was gained, and in him that escapes, it were not sin to think that, making God so free an offer, he let him outlive that day to see his greatness, and to teach others how they should prepare. 'Tis certain, every man that dies ill, the ill upon his own head. The king is not to answer it. I do not desire he should answer for me, and yet I determined to fight lustily for him. I myself heard the king say he would not be ransomed. Aye, he said so, to make us fight cheerfully. But when our throats are cut, he may be ransomed, and we ne'er the wiser. If I live to see it, I will never trust his word after. You pay him then! That's a perilous shot out of an elder gun that a poor and a private displeasure can do against a monarch. You may as well go, about to turn the sun to ice, with fanning in his face with a peacock's feather. You'll never trust his word after. Come, 'tis a foolish saying. Your reproof is something too round. I should be angry with you if the time were convenient. Let it be a quarrel between us if you live. I embrace it. How shall I know thee again? Give me any gage of thine, and I will wear it in my bonnet. Then, if ever thou darest acknowledge it, I will make it my quarrel. Here's my glove. Give me another of thine. There. This will I also wear in my cap. If ever thou come to me and say, after tomorrow, this is my glove, by this hand, I will take thee a box on the ear. If ever I live to see it, I will challenge it. Thou darest as well be hanged. Well, I will do it, though I take thee in the king's company. Keep thy word! Fare thee well! Be friends, you English fools, be friends! We have French quarrels, no! If you could tell how to reckon. Indeed, the French may lay 20 French crowns to one they will beat us, for they bear them on their shoulders. But it is no English treason to cut French crowns, and tomorrow the king himself will be a clipper. Upon the king, let us our lives, our souls, our debts, our careful wives, our children, and our sins lay on the king. We must bear all. No hard condition, twin born with greatness, subject to the breath of every fool whose sense no more can feel but his own wringing. What infinite heart's ease must kings neglect that private men enjoy? And what have kings that privates have not too, save ceremony, save general ceremony? And what art thou, thou idle ceremony? What kind of God art thou, that sufferest more of mortal griefs than do thy worshippers? What are thy rents? What are thy comings in? O ceremony, show me but thy worth. What is thy soul of adoration? Art thou aught else but place, degree, and form, creating awe and fear in other men? Wherein thou art less happy being feared than they in fearing? What drinkest thou oft, instead of homage sweet, but poisons flattery? Oh, be sick, great greatness, and bid thy ceremony give thee cure. Thinkest thou the fiery fever will go out, with titles blown from adulation? Will it give place to flexure and low bending? Canst thou, when thou commandst the beggar's knee, command the health of it? No. thou proud dream, that playest so subtly where the kings repose. I am a king that find thee, and I know 'tis not the balm, the scepter, and the ball, the sword, the mace, the crown imperial, the intertissued robe of gold and pearl, the fausted title running for the king, the throne he sits on, nor the tide of pomp that beats upon the high shore of this world. No, not all these thrice gorgeous ceremony, not all these laid in bed majestical can sleep so soundly as the wretched slave who with a body filled and vacant mind gets him to rest, crammed with distress for bread, never sees horrid night, the child of hell, but like a lackey from the rise to set sweats in the eye of Phoebus, and all night sleeps in Elysium. Next day after dawn doth rise and help Hyperion to his horse, and follows so the ever-running year with profitable labor to his grave, and but for ceremony, such a wretch, winding up days with toil and nights with sleep, had the forehand advantage of a king, the slave, a member of the country's peace, enjoys it, but in gross brain little what watch the king keeps to maintain the peace, whose hours the peasant best advantages. My lord, your nobles, jealous of your absence, seek through your camp to find you. Good old knight, collect them all together at my tent. I'll be before thee. I shall do it, my lord. O God of battles, steel my soldiers' hearts, possess them not with fear. Take from them now the sense of reckoning. If the opposed numbers pluck their hearts from them, not today, O Lord, oh, not today. Think not upon the fault my father made encompassing the crown. I, Richard's body, have interred new, and on it have bestowed more contrite tears than from it issued forced drops of blood. 500 poor I have in yearly pay, who twice a day their withered hands hold up toward heaven to part in blood. And I have built 2 chantries where the sad and solemn priests sing still for Richard's soul. More will I do, though all that I can do is nothing worth, since that my penitence comes after all, imploring pardon. My liege, my brother Gloucester's voice. Aye, I know thy errand. I will go with thee. The day, my friends, and all things, stay for me.
The sun doth gild our armor. Up, my lords! Mon cheval, my horse, voyons le cry. Ah, oh brave spirit! Via les eaux et terres. Oui, on brûle les airs, fou! Sire, Cousin Léon. Now, my lord constable. Hark, thou our steeds for prison service nay! Now them, and make incision in their hides, that their hot blood may spin in his eyes, and doubt them with superfluous courage. Ah! What? Will you add them weep our horses' blood? How shall we then behold their natural tears? The English are in battle, you French peas! To horse, you gallant princes! Strike the horse! Do but behold yon bronze starving man, and your fair show shall suck away at their souls, leaving them but the shield and husks of men,
There's not work enough for all hands. Scarce blood enough in all their sicky veins to give it naked, dirt lacks the stain that our French gallants shall do today. Drought and seed for lack of sport. Let us put blow on them. The vapor of our valor return. It is positive, with all exceptions lost, that our superfluous lackeys and our peasants, who in unnecessary action swarm about our squares of battle, were in now to purge this field of such healing foe, though we, upon this mountain embraces by, took stand for idle speculation, but that our honors must know. What's to say? A very little let us do, and all is done. Then let the trumpet sound to Tucker's sonance, and the note to mount. For our report shall so much dare the field that England shall couch down in fear and yield.
Ready, stay so long, my lords of France. You dial and Cairo. Yes, poet of their bones, il fervently become the warning field. Their Harry hangs poorly on the loose. It does air shakes them passing scornfully. Big Ma seems bankrupt in their burial host. And finally, through a rusty beaver peeps, the horse missing like fixie candlesticks with torch staves in their hand, and their poor jades lop down their heads, dropping their hides and hips. The gum down roping from their pale dread eyes, and in their pale dun mouths the gimel bit lies foul with charred grass, still and motionless, and the executor, the knavish course, fly o'er them all, in passion for their hour. Description cannot see itself in words to demonstrate the life of such a battle, in life so lifeless as it shows itself.
They upset their prayers and they stay for death. So we go, send them dinners and fresh suits, and give their fasting horses provender, and after fight with them. I stay, but for my God, on to the field. I will the banner from my trumpet's head and use it for my ace. Come away, the sun is high, and we outweigh the day.
Where is the king? The king himself is rode to view their battle.
Of fighting men they have full 70,000.
There's 5 to 1. Besides, they all are fresh. God's arm strike with us! 'Tis a fearful odds. God buy you, princes all. Out to my charge. If we no more meet till we meet in heaven, then joyfully, my noble lord of Bedford, my dear lord of Gloucester, and my good Lord Exeter, and my kind kinsmen, warriors all, adieu!
Farewell, good Salisbury, and good luck go with thee.
Farewell, kind lord. Fight valiantly today, and yet I do thee wrong to mind thee of it.
For thou art framed of the firm truth of valor. He is as full of valor as of kindness, princely in both. Oh, that we now had here but 1/10,000 of those men in England that do not work today.
What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland? No, my fair cousin. If we are marked to die, we are enow to do our country loss. And if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honor. God's will! I pray thee wish not one man more. By Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor care I who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not if men my garments wear. Such outward things dwell not in my desires. But if it be a sin to covet honor, I am the most offending soul alive. No faith, my cuz. Wish not a man from England. God's peace! I would not lose so great an honor as one man more
methinks would share from me for the best hope I have. Oh, do not wish one more. Rather proclaim it, Westmoreland, through my host, that he which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe when this day is named, and rouse him at the name of Crispian. He that shall see this day and live old age will yearly on the vigil feast his neighbors and say, "Tomorrow is Saint Crispian!" Then will he strip his sleeve and show his scars and say, "These wounds I had on Crispin's day." Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot. But he'll remember, with advantages, what feats he did that day. Then shall our names familiar in his mouth as household words: Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester, be in their flowing cups freshly remember read. This story shall the good man teach his son, and Crispin Crispian shall ne'er go by from this day to the ending of the world. But we in it shall be remembered, we few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. But he ne'er so vile, this day shall gentle his condition, and gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, whiles any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin's day. My sovereign lord, bestow yourself with speed. The French are bravely in their battle set, and will with all expedience charge on us. All things are ready, if our minds be so. Perish the man whose mind is backward now. Thou dost not wish more help from England, cuz? God will, my liege. Would you and I alone, without more help, could fight this royal battle? Why now thou hast unwished 5,000 men, which likes me better than to wish us one. You know your places. God be with you all! Once more I come to know of thee, King I. If for thy ransom thou wilt now compound, before thy most assured overthrow, for certainly thou art so near the gulf, thou needs must be inglutted. Besides in mercy, the constable desires thee thou his mind, thy followers of repentance, that their souls may make a peaceful and a sweet retire from all these fields, where wretches their poor bodies must lie and fester. Who hath sent thee now? The Constable of France. I pray thee bear my former answer back. Bid them achieve me and then sell my bones. Good God! Why should they mock poor fellows thus? The man that once did sell the lion's skin, while the beast lived, was killed with hunting him. Many of our bodies shall no doubt find native graves, upon the which I trust shall witness living brass of this day's work. And those that leave their valiant bones in France, dying like men, though buried in your dunghills, they shall be famed. For there the sun shall greet them, and draw their honors reeking up to heaven, leaving their earthly parts to choke your clime. The smell whereof shall breed a plague in France, mock then abounding valor in our English. That, being dead, like to the bullets cracing, break out into a second course of mischief, killing in relapse of mortality. Let me speak proudly. Tell the constable we are but warriors for the working day. Our gayness and our guilt are all besmirched with rainy marching in the painful field. There's not a piece of feather in our host. Good argument, I hope. We will not fly, and time hath worn us into slovenry. But by the mass, our hearts are in the trim, and my poor soldiers tell me yet here night they'll be in fresher robes, or they will pluck the gay new coats off the French soldiers' heads and turn them out of service. If they do this, as, if God please, they shall, my ransom then will soon be levied. Herald, save thou thy labor. Come thou no more for ransom, gentle herald. They shall have none, I swear, but these my joints, which if they have as I will leave them shall yield them little. Tell the constable.
I shall, King Harry, and so fare thee well. Thou never shalt hear Harold any more. I fear thou wilt once more come again for a ransom. My lord, most humbly on my knee I beg the leading of the voward. Take it, brave York. Now, soldiers, march away! And how thou pleasest, God, dispose the day.
Je pense que vous êtes l'agent du bon qualité. Qualité égale to me. Art thou a gentleman? What is thy name? Discuss. Oh, Seigneur Dieu! Seigneur Dieu should be a gentleman. Perpend my words, O Seigneur Dieu, and mark, O Seigneur Dieu, thou diest on point of fox. Except, O Seigneur, thou do give to me egregious ransom. Oh, venez, Monsieur God, aye, pitié de moi. Moi shall not serve. I will have 40 mois, or I will fetch thy rim out at thy throat in drops of crimson blood. Est-il possible d'échapper le force de ton bras? Brasker, thou damned and luxurious mountain goat, offers me brass? Oh, pardonne-moi! Sayest thou so? Is that your taunt of boys? Come hither, boy. Ask me, this slave in French, what is his name? Écoutez, comment êtes-vous être belle? Monsieur le Fer!
He says his name is Master Fair.
Master Fair! I'll fair him, and ferk him, and ferret him! Discuss the same in French unto him.
I do not know the French for fair, and ferret, and fair.
Bid him prepare, for I will cut his throat.
Qu'en dit-il, monsieur? Il me commande de vous dire que vous faites vous plaît, car ce soldat ici est disposé tout assuré de couper votre gorge.
Oh, we couple you gorge! But ma foi, peasant, unless thou give me crowns, brave crowns, or mangled shalt thou be by this my sword. Suffit, Poyable de Dieu, pardonnez, j'étais homme de bonne maison, gardez ma vie, et je vous donnerai 200 escus. What are his words?
He prays you to save his life. He is a gentleman of a good house, and for his ransom he will give you 200 crowns.
Tell him my fury shall abate, and I the crowns will take. Petit monsieur Kennedy.
Encore qu'il est contre son jument, je pardonne comme prisonnier. Nettement pour l'excuse que vous avez promise, il est content de vous donner le liberté, le franchissement.
Imaginez, je fais de 1000 remerciements et je m'estime que j'ai tombé entre les mains d'un chevalier. Je pense le plus bref, vaillant et très distingué seigneur d'Angleterre. Expound unto me, boy.
He gives you upon his knees 1,000 thanks, and he esteems himself happy that he hath fallen into the hands of one, as he thinks, the most brave, valorous, and thrice worthy Seigneur of England.
As I suck blood, I will some mercy show. Follow me.
Suivez-vous le grand capitaine? I did never know so full a voice issue from so empty a heart. But the saying is true. The empty vessel makes the greatest sound. Bardolph and Nym had 10 times more valor than this roaring devil in the old play, that everyone may pare his nails with a wooden dagger, and they are both hanged. And so would this be, if he dare steal anything adventurously. I must stay with the lackeys with the luggage of our camp. The French might have a good prey of us, if he knew of it, for there is none to guard it but boys.
Oh, diable! Oh, Seigneur! Je est perdu! Tu es perdu! Moi de ma vie. All these confounded toy. Reproach and everlasting shame sits mocking in our beams. Oh, méchante voisine! Do not run away! Toi! All our ranks are broke! A pitiable shame! The Sabbaths, be these wretches that we played at dice for? Is this the king we sent to for his ransom? Shame, and eternal shame, nothing but shame. Let us die in honor. Once more back again, and he that will not follow Bourbon now, let him go hence. And with his coffin on, like a big ponder, hold the chamber door once by a slave. No gentler than my dog. His various daughter is contaminated. His daughter that has spoiled us, skinned us now. Let us on the eve score of our life. We are now yet living in the field, the smell of dingies and our wrongs. If any order might be done upon, the devil take order now. I'll to the strong, let life be short, else same will be too long.
Well, have we done, thrice valiant countrymen? But all's not done. Yet keep the French the field. The Duke of York commends him to your majesty. Lives he, good uncle? Thrice within this hour I saw him down, thrice up again in fighting, from helmet to the spur all blood he was. In which array, brave soldier, doth he lie, lauding the plain, and by his bloody side, yoke fellow to his honor, owing wounds, the noble Earl of Suffolk also lies. Suffolk first died, and York, all haggled over, comes to him where in gore he lay in steeped, and takes him by the beard, kisses the gashes that bloodily did yawn upon his face, and cries aloud, "Tarry, my cousin Suffolk, my soul shall thine keep company to heaven. Tarry, sweet soul, for mine, then fly abreast, as in this glorious and well-foughten field we kept together in our chivalry." Upon these words I came and cheered him up. He smiled me in the face, wrought me in his hand, and with a feeble gripe says, "Dear my lord, commend my service to my sovereign." So did he turn, and over Suffolk's neck he threw his wounded arm and kissed his lips, and so, espoused to death with blood, he sealed a testament of noble ending love. The pretty and sweet manner of it forced those waters from me, which I would have stopped, but I had not so much of man in me, and all my mother came into mine eyes and gave me up to tears. I blame you not. For hearing this, I must perforce compound with mistful eyes, or they will issue too. But hark! What new alarm is this same? The French have reinforced their scattered men? Did every soldier kill his prisoners? Get the word through!
kill the boys and the luggage. 'Tis expressly against the law of arms. 'Tis as arrant a piece of knavery, mark you now, as can be offered in your conscience now, is it not?
'Tis certain there's not a boy left alive, and the cowardly rascals that ran from the battle had done this slaughter. Besides, they have burned and carried away all that was in the king's tent, wherefore the king most worthily hath caused every soldier to cut his prisoner's throat. Oh, 'tis a gallant king.
Aye, he was born at Monmouth, Captain Gower. What call you the town's name where Alexander the Pig was born?
Alexander the Great.
Why, I pray you, is not being great? The big, or the great, or the mighty, or the huge, or the magnanimous are all on reckonings, save the phrase is a little variations.
I think Alexander the Great was born in Macedon. His father was called Philip of Macedon, as I take it.
I think it is in Macedon where Alexander is born. I tell you, Captain, if you look in the maps of the world, I warrant you shall find in the comparisons between Macedon and Monmouth that the situations, look you, is more like. There is a river in Macedon, and there is also moreover a river at Monmouth. It is called Wye at Monmouth, but it is out of my brains what is the name of the other river. But 'tis all one. 'Tis alike as my fingers is to my fingers, and there is salmons in both. If you mark Alexander's life well, Harry of Monmouth's life is come after it a different well. For there is figures in all things, Alexander, God knows, and you know. And his rages, and his furies, and his wraths, and his choles, and his moods, and his displeasures, and his indignations, and also being a little intoxicated in his pains, did in his airs and his angers, look you, kill his best friend Clytus.
Our king is not like him in that. He never kills any of his friends.
It is not well done, mark ye now, to take the tales out of my mouth here that is made and finished. I speak but in the figures and comparisons of it. As Alexander killed his friend Clytus, being in his ales and his caps, so also Harry Monmouth, being in his right wits and his good judgments, turned away the fat knight with the great belly doublet. He was full of jests and gipes and knaveries and mocks. I have forgot his name.
Sir John Falstaff.
That is he. I'll tell you where there is good men born at Monmouth.
Here comes his majesty. I was not angry since I came to France until this instant. Take a trumpet, herald. Ride thou unto the horsemen on yond hill. If they will fight with us, bid them come down or void the field. They do offend our sight. If they'll do neither, we will come to them and make them scare away as swift as stones and force it from the old Assyrian slings. Besides, we'll cut the throats of those we have, and not a man of them that we shall take shall taste our mercy. Go and tell them so. Here comes the herald of the French, my liege.
His eyes are humbler than they used to be.
How now? What means this, herald? Knowest thou not that I have fined these bones of mine for ransom? Comest thou again for ransom?
No, great king, I come to thee for charitable license, that we may wander o'er this bloody field, to book our dead, and then to bury them, to sort our nobles from our common men, for many of our princes were the while, lie drowned and soaked in mercenary blood. So do our vulgar glens and peasant lambs, in blood of princes, and the wounded steeds. Fetlock deep in gore, and with wild rage, yerk out their armored heels at their dead masters, killing them twice, Oh, give us leave, great king, to view the field in safety and dispose of their dead bodies.
I tell thee truly, Herald, I know not if the day be ours or no, for yet a many of your horsemen peer and gallop o'er the field.
The day is yours.
Praised be God, and not our strength for it. What is this castle called that stands hard by?
They call it Agincourt.
Then we call this the field of Agincourt, fought on the day of Crispin Crispianus.
Your grandfather of famous memory has pleased your majesty, and your great-uncle Edward, the Black Prince of Wales, as I have read in the chronicles, fought a most brave battle here for us.
They did, Llewellyn.
Your majesty says very true. If your majesty is remembered of it, the Welshmen did good service in a garden where leeks did grow, wearing leeks in the Monmouth caps, which your majesty knows to this hour is an honourable badge of the service, and I do believe your majesty takes no scorn to wear the link upon St. Tammy's Day.
I wear it for a memorable honour, for I am Welsh, you know, good countrymen.
By you, I am your majesty's countryman. I cannot deny it. I will confess it to the world. I need not to be ashamed of your majesty. Praise be to God, so long as your majesty is an honest man.
God keep me so. Our heralds go with him. Bring me just notice of the numbers dead on both our parts. Call yonder fellow hither.
Soldier, you must come to the king.
Soldier, why wearest thou that glove in thy cap?
And please your majesty, 'tis the gage of one that I should fight withal, if he be alive.
An Englishman?
And please your majesty, a rascal that swaggered with me last night, who, if I live and ever dare to challenge this glove, I have sworn to take him a box o' the ear.
Or if I can see my glove in his cap, which he swore, as he was a soldier, he would wear if alive, I will strike it out soundly. What think you, Captain Llewellyn? Is it fit this soldier keep his oath?
He is graven at the villanelles, and please your majesty, in my conscience.
It may be his enemy is a gentleman of great sort, quite from the answer of his degree.
Though he be as good as a gentleman, as the devil is, as Lucifer tells about himself, it is necessary, look your grace, that he keep his vow and his oath. If he be perjured, see you now, his reputation is as arrant a villain and a jacksock as ever his black shoes trod upon God's ground and his earth. In my conscience, law.
Then keep thy vows, sirrah, when thou meetest the fellow.
So I will, my liege, as I live.
Who servest thou under?
Under Captain Gower, my liege. Gower is a good captain, and his good knowledge and literature in the wars.
Call him hither to me, soldier.
I will, my liege.
Here, Llewellyn, wear thou this favour for me, and stick it in thy cap. When Alençon and myself were down together, I plucked this glove from his helm. If any man challenge this, he is a friend to Alençon, and an enemy to our person. If thou encounter any such, apprehend him, and thou dost me love.
Your grace suits me as great honours as can be desired in the hearts of his subjects. I would fain to see the man that has but 2 legs, that shall find himself aggrieved at his glove that is on. But I would fain see it once, then please God of his grace that I may see him.
Knowest thou Gower?
He is my dear friend, and please you.
Pray thee, go seek him and bring him to my tent.
I will fetch him.
My lord of Warwick and my brother Gloucester, follow Fluellen closely at the heels. The glove which I have given him for a favour may haply purchase him a box o' the ear. It is the soldier's. I by bargain should wear it myself. Follow, good cousin Warwick. If that the soldier strike him, as I judge by his blunt bearing he will keep his word, some sudden mischief may arise of it. For I do know Fluellen valiant, and touch with choler, hot as gunpowder, and quickly will return an injury. Follow, and see there be no harm between them. Go you with me, Uncle of Exeter.
I warrant it is to knight you, Captain.
God's will, and his pleasure, Captain. I beseech you now, come appear to the king. There is more good towards you, peradventure, than is in your knowledge to dream of.
Sir, know you this glove?
Know the glove. I know the glove is a glove.
I know this, and thus I challenge it.
Blood! Is that a traitor as insidious sword, or advance, or England?
How now, sir, you villain! Do you think I'll be forsworn?
Send away at the hour. I will give treason this plague with his applause. I warrant you.
I am no traitor!
That's a lie in thy throat. I charge you in his majesty's name, apprehend him. He is a friend of Duke Alencorn.
Oh no, oh no! What's the matter?
My lord of Warwick, here is, praise be God for it, a most contagious treason come tonight. Look you, as you shall desire in a summer's day, here is his majesty.
How now? What's the matter?
My liege, here is a villain and a traitor that your grace has struck the glove which your majesty is take out of the helmet of Alencorn.
My liege, this was my glove! Here is the fellow of it, and he that I gave it to, in change promised to wear it in his cap. I promised to strike him if he did. I met this man with my glove in his cap, and I have been as good as my word.
Your majesty here now. Save me, your majesty's Manyard. What an errant, rascally, beggarly, lousy knave it is. I hope your majesty is spare me testimony and witness and will of Ashman that this is the glove of Alencorn that your majesty has given me and your conscience now.
Give me the glove, soldier. Look, here is the fellow of it. 'Twas I, indeed, thou promised saidst to strike, and thou hast given me most bitter terms.
I please your majesty, let us look answer for it, if there is any martial law in the world.
How canst thou make me satisfaction?
All offenses, my lord, come from the heart. Never came any from mine that might offend your majesty.
It was ourself thou didst abuse.
Your majesty came not like yourself. You appeared to me but as a common man. Witness the night, your garments, your lowliness, and what your highness suffered under that shape. I beseech you, take it for your own fault and not mine. For had you been as I took you for, I made no offense. Therefore I beseech your highness, pardon me.
Here, Uncle Exeter, fill this glove with crowns and give it to this fellow. Keep it, fellow, and wear it for an honor in thy cap till I do challenge it. Give him the crowns, and captain, you must needs be friends with him.
by this day and this night, the fellow has metal enough in his belly. Oh, there's 12 pence for you, and I pray you to serve God and keep you out of brawls and brambles and quarrels and dissensions that I warrant you. It is better for you.
I will none of your money.
It is. With a good will, I can tell you it will serve you to mend your shoes. Come, wherefore should you be so bashful? Your shoes are not so good. 'Tis a good saying, I warrant you, or I will cite it.
Now, Herald, are the dead numbered? Here is the number of the slaughtered French. What prisoners of good sort are taken, uncle?
Charles, Duke of Orleans, nephew to the king.
John, Duke of Bourbon,
And Lord Boucicault. Of other lords and barons, knights and squires, full 1,500, besides common men.
this note doth tell me of 10,000 French that in the field lie slain. Of princes in this number, and nobles bearing banners, there lie dead 126. Added to these of knights, esquires, and gallant gentlemen, 8,400, of the which 500 were but yesterday dubbed knights. So that in these 10,000 they have lost, there are but 1,600 mercenaries. The rest are princes, barons, lords, knights, squires, and gentlemen of blood and quality. The names of those then nobles that lie dead: Charles de la Breth, High Constable of France; Jacques of Chatillon, Admiral of France; the Master of the Crossbows, Lord Rambier; Great Master of France, the brave Sir Guichard Dauphin; Jean Duke of Alençon; Anthony Duke of Brabant, the brother to the Duke of Burgundy; and Edward Duke of Bar, of lusty Earls Grandpré and Roussy, Falconbridge and Foix, Beaumont and Mars, Vaudemont and Lestrade. Here was a royal fellowship of death. Where is the number of our English dead? Edward, the Duke of York, the Earl of Suffolk, Sir Richard Ketley, Davy Gam, Esquire, none else of name. And of all other men, but 25. Oh God, thy arm was here, and not to us, but to thy arm alone, ascribed we all, when, without stratagem, but in plain shock and even play of battle, was ever known so great and little loss, on one part, and on the other? Take it, God, for it is none but thine. 'Tis wonderful. Come, go we in procession to the village, and be it death proclaiming through our host to boast of this, or to take that praise from God, which is his only.
Is it not lawful, and please your majesty, to tell how many is killed?
Yes, Captain, but with this acknowledgement that God fought for us.
Yes, my conscience eaten us great God.
Do we all holy rites? Let there be sung, non nos, and Te Deum, the dead with charity enclose it in clay, and then to Calais, and to England then, where ne'er from France arrived more happy men.